Welcome to this Saturday edition of Jamaica Magazine. We have a show you won't want to miss. Here's a toast of what you can expect.
I didn't know about Fenzik and your pharmaceutical things. I know about bush. So if I had a headache, I knew as a child that I should use the leaves of 3 mackerel bush and a piece of cloth and tie it on my head.
The Institute of Jamaica celebrates Jamaica's medicinal plants. And later,
I was already a student at heart before as a chef.
Yes.
So there was my next resort to call them up and say that I'm blind. And I need them now to tell me of a profession that suits me. And they told me about massage. So when I heard that I can now be a massage therapist, I was elated.
we have the full story of this woman's journey to heal through the darkness and so much more. Stay tuned.
More life.
More memories.
More moments.
Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The government of Jamaica is now signatory to 3 additional CARICOM agreements. Prime Minister Andrew Holness signed the instruments on Friday as he attended the 39th Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in Montego Bay. The agreements relate to cooperation in the areas of education and security. The instruments are the CARICOM Arrest Warrant Treaty, a revised agreement establishing the Caribbean Examinations Council, and protocol amending the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas to incorporate the Council for National Security and Law Enforcement. Jamaica's hosting of the CARICOM heads this week also witnessed the swearing-in of Justice Adrian Saunders as the new president of the Caribbean Court of Justice.
I am fully confident, therefore, that based on your commendable professional experience and personal attributes, under your stewardship, the court will continue to be a guardian of the rights of the people of the Caribbean, and that you will discharge your functions in this new role with distinction and integrity.
In other bilateral news, Jamaica and Panama have agreed to strengthen relations in several areas, including port management, logistics, and aviation.
The decision to cooperate in the development of an air traffic services inter-facility data communication will most certainly put Jamaica in a better position to have timely and reliable exchange of data for the safe conduct of flights.
Cabinet this week made a decision to move the energy portfolio to the office of the Prime Minister, while Minister Andrew Wheatley will retain oversight for the science and technology portfolios. The decision was one of 6 made in light of ongoing investigations into the operations of the state oil refinery Petrojam. On Tuesday, Minister Wheatley informed Parliament that negotiations were still ongoing for the planned upgrade of Petrojam's vacuum distillation unit VDU.
As at June 2018, negotiations are still underway. No agreement has yet been signed, and no money has been spent with Sinai Hydro to undertake any work relating to the upgrade of the VDU at Petrojam.
Government is on track to break ground for the $6 billion Jamaica Gansu Industrial Park and Special Economic Zone by December of this year.
Phase construction planned for 2 to 8 years, and construction is scheduled to start in January 2019, which is the timing to be confirmed in September this year at the conference in China.
The Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Vice Squad, CTOC, has been given a new 2018 Toyota Hiace bus to support its anti-human trafficking work. Valued at more than $5.9 million, the bus was gifted by the Justice Ministry's National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons. The Culture Ministry has set aside $26 million to start the Jamaica Creative 100 program to give small business entrepreneurs funding support for short to medium-term projects in the creative sector.
This is to help with the further development of creative people across Jamaica who have imprinted their unique brand in the global marketplace or have the potential to do so. Selections will be through an open call based on growth potential, entrepreneurship, and quality.
And finally, government has set aside an initial $12 million to establish a Rastafari Trust Fund with the Administrator General as trustee. The trust fund is being established for the benefit of survivors of the Coral Gardens incident of 1963.
We are committed to national support for the 21 elders so far identified by the Office of the Public Defender. We are committed to transfer $30 million annually over the next 3 years to ensure the sustainability of the fund.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
Everything just came to me natural. Yes. It's like this was my destiny. Yes, I was sad about the blindness, but tell you, sometimes I forgot.
Tamika's story gets even more interesting. Her vision extended far beyond her sight. If you want to find out how she was able to overcome her challenges to pursue her dreams, keep watching. Right now, we turn our attention to healing through movement. Up next, how one organization is encouraging its members to get moving.
The Uwimona Bowl came alive with Ready, Set, Sweat was organized by the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God to promote health and wellness, heeding the Ministry of Health's call for better nutrition and more active lifestyle. Members of the church and the wider public were invited to take part in the day's offerings.
We have a lot of things. We have Sagicor here doing a lot of tests, free of course. We have the Heart Foundation. We're doing the BMIs. Everything is going to be massive today.
It's all about movements, getting fit and staying healthy. But not only that, the UCKG organizers of the event partnered with the National Blood Transfusion Service, also known as the Blood Bank, to give back. Scores of persons turned out to give the gift of life, and Eagle Allen, blood donor organizer, couldn't be happier.
We at the National Blood Transfusion Service only meet about 50% of the demand. So any opportunity that presents itself that will better help Jamaicans, we welcome it. And we commend them on this for reaching out to us, and we hope that other entities follow suit.
Let's not forget the cheerful givers.
So is this your first time giving blood, and how was it?
No, it's not my first time, but it's a pleasure to help to save lives.
Why did you decide to give blood today?
Because I wanted to help others that needed it, because there's a lot of people that needed blood. If we just come together and just donate to others, then we can help the better society.
And if you think aerobics was the only form of exercise for the day, think again. Persons worked out on the bicycle, the treadmill, and check out the strength training, weightlifting, and even juggling football. It's said that Jamaicans are not getting the required amount of physical activity or nutrition in their daily routine to maintain healthy lives. Dion Keynes from the Ministry of Health shared some pointers.
Results of the screenings done here today, for example, the weight checks, the blood pressure checks, the blood sugar checks, those can reveal some very important things. And what it can indicate is that Jamaicans actually need to be more physically active. Just moderate exercise of 30 minutes or more per day can actually help to control your blood sugar and help to reduce your blood cholesterol and help you to control your weight better. So it reduces your risk of many diseases like heart disease, hypertension, or even some cancers. And I just want to urge persons to get checked, get their screenings done. If you cannot afford to see a private doctor, then use the services of the government health clinics.
And what of seeking medical advice via the internet?
The internet does offer a lot of information in regards to health issues. However, one has to make sure you do check reputable sites, and these information should not be used to make your own diagnosis and administer your own treatment. All persons are encouraged to seek the counsel of their medical doctor on all medical issues.
Beyond the various health checks, booths at Ready, Set, Sweat also offered hair care, wellness and fitness services. And for your closing advice,
don't pay attention to the body, which is the temple where your spirit resides. And we have a duty to protect it. And we protect the body by paying attention to what you put in your mouth. Because if you don't pay attention to that, you're going to be the richest man in the graveyard by drinking all these acid-forming foods.
Now remember, stay fit, keep healthy, and take it 1 pound at a time.
Well, Tamika, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. And we just want to find out a little bit more about your story and how did you get started in the profession?
It has started when I got blind, 11 years ago. I got blind from a wrong medication while I was studying nursing.
Did you feel angry at any point when you discovered that you would not have been able to see again?
Angry?
Yes.
When I was just getting blind, because I went blind within 19 days. And I remember they had to strap me to a bed because I was trying to run out of the hospital, saying, I don't want to be blind, I don't want to be blind. At the time, persons thought that blindness is the end of the world. But I was already a mother. And for me to just take this like this and take it lightly, it wasn't my thing because I'm a fighter. I got myself rehabilitated, learning how to use a computer again without sight.
Right.
Within 3 months, I learned that at Society for the Blind. I learned how to use my cane. I was already a student at heart before as a chef.
Yes.
So there was my next resort to call them up and say that I'm blind. And I need them now to tell me of a profession that suits me. And they told me about massage. So when I heard that I can now be a massage therapist, I was elated.
So the transition between nursing and becoming a massage therapist, how did you make that kind of transition and how did you feel about making the transition?
Well, it was great expectations because then I'd have to have subjects. First, I have to have 3 CXCs. That's what they require. So I went ahead and I did CXCs, 7 of them.
Absolutely.
In which I got 1s and 2.
Yes.
And then I started the massage course. It was 2 years. It was very challenging. because we have to get reader writers, because now I cannot read for myself. But from the day I started practical, wow.
That was the life-changing moment for you.
Yes, I know now that I can now use my hands and at my sight. Everything just came to me natural.
Yes.
It's like this was my destiny. Yes, I was sad about the blindness, but tell you, sometimes I forgot because the way I move, I forget that I'm blind sometimes.
Yes. Looking back in your mind's eye, do you believe that this is where you should have been, given the situation of the wrong medication and that whatever else that you chose on the other path in terms of the culinary arts, it would not have been as successful as being a massage therapist?
I don't want to question nature and said, why me? Why not me? Because when I look back on my life being a chef and also was attending training to be a nurse, I don't know what type of nurse I would be, but I can say I'm an extraordinary massage therapist.
There are many young women, young girls in particular, who have dreams, great dreams to become successful, but at some point have the doubt and they don't feel as if they can be as triumphant as they possibly can. What kind of advice would you give to those people to live their dream and get them to where they ought to be?
Sky's the limit. Use your challenges as a stepping stone.
You know what I learned from Tamika? Never let your limitations keep you from becoming all you can be. Her story is so inspiring, and I think you're going to want to watch it again and again. And you can by visiting our website, www.jis.gov.jm, or our YouTube page. You know that weird feeling you get in your belly? Yeah, that strange fluttery feeling. It's like a little tickle traveling up through your stomach. There's a word for that. Well, other than the butterflies, of course. You have the Collywobbles, and that's just as I described before. It's that feeling of anxiety, fear, or apprehension. It also refers to intestinal cramps or other abdominal disturbances. And this reminds me of that Blue Mountain hike I have planned for next week, and I'm getting the Collywobbles just thinking about it. Collywobbles, flavoring this week's Saturday Soup. If the fluttering of the stomach is caused by eating something when not too agree with you, a nice cup of ginger or mint tea may go a far way in easing the discomfort. Plants can heal, and much more than just an upset stomach. The Institute of Jamaica recently paid homage to our medical plants, taking some of the sights right now.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and we had to find a way to survive. And so for the plants, the natural gift of the Creator, we could rely on it to guide us into what we needed to do. I didn't know about Fenzik and your pharmaceutical things. I know about bush. So if I had a headache, I knew as a child that I should use the leaves of 3 mackerel bush and a piece of cloth and tie it on my head, and the pain would go.
The use of herbs as medicine. While this age-old practice has been overlooked by many, the Institute of Jamaica saw it fitting to mount an exhibition on medicinal plants of Jamaica and their uses, bringing to the present the medicinal habits used in the past.
So at least 330 plants have been found growing in Jamaica, have been identified as having medicinal value. Of that 334, at least 193 have been assessed for their biochemical activities, and 23 of those are actually endemic plants.
Not every plant though in its natural form is good, is accessible to everybody. And knowing the information about the plant and wanting to get that into the hands of the people, some of our scientists have begun to study extensively some of these plants to see how they can be formulated in such a way so that they can be packaged and be accessible to the public.
You just don't wake up and say, Eureka, I have found it. They would have learned from the people in the community what plants were used for what purpose. So you know all those things in your childhood because they were continually using the plants of nature to assist in what they were doing.
Ever since I was a child, my mom always said me go break a piece of bush to make tea if the tea bag run out. But what was I getting out of it? I had no clue. And sometimes people say it worked, some other people say it didn't work. So that's why I really did the research to find out if these plants actually work. So we started only making butterbrush, which is also known as Callistemon viminalis. And then we broadened and we focused on lemongrass. We focused on most of the herbs that are used by native Jamaicans to cure different ailments.
In addition to the showcase, students from the Dunrobin, Chetola Park, and the Rollington Town primary schools were scientists for a day as they participated in one of the institution's monthly and afternoon with a scientist sessions. Modeled around the Ministry of Education's academic calendar, the mandate of the program is to expose students to and encourage an appreciation for different disciplines of science through fun-filled scientific activities.
I've been promoting entrepreneurship, especially in the medicinal plant industry. So one of the things I do is to give back. So I volunteer even at my children's school. We have an entrepreneurial club where I teach them to make different products from plants.
I learned that they can use herbs to make soap. It was very exciting because I got to see what dangerous chemicals they use in it and how is it correct to go on the skin. First, we had to put some coconut oil in like a metal cup. Then we had to put shea butter in it and melt it. And then we put it in sodium hydroxide. And it was very, very, very hot. I spilled it a couple times, but it was okay, just a little clean up. And it began to get thick, so I was like, what should I do now? And she was like, just mix it, it's normal. And then we got to put what we want in there. I put charcoal in there, and then I made a swirl in the mold. It was a very good experience.
I'm so happy our students were able to participate in the activity held here at the Institute, where they learn more about medicinal plants. I believe it's very important for them to know that the plants that are found right there in their backyards can be used for healing of ailments that they'll have, the common cold, whatever the ailment may be.
This is what I would like to engage the people in. Go back to their communities and learn how people lived. A generation which came out of slavery could neither read nor write, and yet they were able to contain themselves and to live. We want the students to have some respect for the heritage of this country because it is going to guide you to the future.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.
Well, let me tell you about a pretty young lady. She love off my island, yeah. Listen. Well, I met this girl last summer, had the prettiest thing. Beautiful smile with the prettiest skin. She was looking for a place to vacation. Me say my home is a great destination. I said, would you agree to take that vacation with someone like me? I know the perfect place you can be free, baby. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling, you'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away. And we have summer every day, trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica, that's where all the fun is, baby. Feel free to get wild and crazy, or just relax and be lazy. Me say whatever you want, whatever you need, it's alright with me. Even if you want to try out the trees, baby. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling, you'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, a perfect place to get away. And we have summer every day, trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica. If you feel like party with me, let me make it real easy. You just need to get up and shake off your troubles and smile with me. Relax for a while with me. Enjoy the island breeze, baby. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling, you'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away. And we have summer every day, trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica. So what will it be? The question may ask, you still not answer me. The invite is open, your tickets on me. So let me ask you again, girl, would you agree to take that vacation with someone like me? I know the perfect place you can be free, baby. Come with me to Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling, you'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away. And we have summer every day, trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica, where the summer sun is always shining. Happy people always smiling, you'll see. Let's do it in Jamaica, the nicest place to get away. And we have summer every day, trust me. Let's do it in Jamaica.
And this is where I end my sojourn with you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Send us an email to let us know what you liked and where you think we can improve. We want to be your friend. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.